If you bought a home in the last few years and used an FHA loan, you may be seeing a lot of solicitations to do what's called an FHA Streamline Refinance. So today we're going to talk about that and give you some tips, bust some myths, and get you prepared so that you can save some money if and when it makes sense to refinance that home. The most important thing first is to understand what is an FHA Streamline Refinance, guys. And there's plenty of videos on my channel about FHA mortgages, but simply put, an FHA Streamline Refinance is just simply this. It's designed for you to lower your interest rate and payment with an FHA loan. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. What are some of the best benefits of that? No appraisal, no income verification, less paperwork, savings on underwriting fees, and closing faster. So those are some great benefits for the FHA Streamline Refinance. There are some eligibility requirements that are important to understand. You can only do it if you have an FHA loan, and on-time payments are very important as well. Definitely want to key in on having payments on time for the last year. Definitely the last 6 months is going to be very important as well. And then lenders require what's called a net tangible benefit. That's because in the past, what was happening is people were refinanced over and over and over and over again. And really it was benefiting the lenders because the balances were going up and up. Type of FHA Streamline Refinance for homes that are now investment properties has limitations on what the new loan amount can be. So be prepared to bring money to closing if you're refinancing a home that is currently an investment property through the FHA Streamline Refinance. Let's get in some common myths, and I'm going to debunk these for you. One, that you need an appraisal, because you don't. The only reason I would think to get an appraisal is if I thought my equity had gone up substantially and maybe it makes sense to visit conventional versus FHA, then maybe an appraisal can make sense. But on an FHA Streamline Refinance, no appraisal is required. It saves you time. It saves money on the refinance. Number two, that you can get cash out, because you can't. In fact, $500 is the maximum cash back on an FHA Streamline. Is really just designed to lower your rate and lower your payment, not to get cash out. That would be a different type of refinance altogether. With FHA, a cash out refinance caps you at an 80% of the value compared to your loan, so loan to value on the home. Number three, you might get the solicitation, you might get the notice that we are X lender, and that's who you closed with, so you think that's who you're talking to, but the fine print on that solicitation in the mail is we are not affiliated with X lender. The truth of the matter is you do not need to do the FHA Streamline Refinance with your existing lender. If you've received solicitations in the mail that seem deceiving or confusing, drop a comment below or a question on how to determine real fast if it is valid for you. Be mindful of those solicitations that come in the mail and the interest rates that they do put on there, because they might not be abiding by the Truth in Advertising Act, which is that they're supposed to put rates on there that they can actually offer you. But when there's a big variance between the rate and the APR that's advertised down there, that's a sure bet they're going to stack a bunch of closing costs on that loan. Therefore, it might be deceiving to say that you're going to get this absurdly low rate when the closing costs are going to be equally absurd and your balance is going to go up substantially and really just eradicate the true benefit of that FHA Streamline Refinance. So make sure to ask questions to get educated. And if you're in the middle of one and have a question, I can answer it for you without even being your lender. So drop those in the comments below. And the last one I would say shop around, because you may find maybe your servicer is going to give you the best deal. Maybe they're not. The thing about FHA loans, I'm sure with everybody, is that lenders have big cushions on their profit margins. Therefore, you may find a broker get you a better deal because they're not going to have the layers, and therefore that savings can be passed on to you through a lower rate, lower closing costs. As an example, when we're doing an FHA Streamline Refinance, typically we have some lenders that will waive the underwriting fee, others where the underwriting fee is $495, so it can save you money in the overall closing costs. That's why talking to a few lenders can be helpful for you. Just be mindful, and I've said this before, if you're going to shop for rate, do it in a very tight period of time, because the market and interest rates and closing costs can move. Therefore, if you put this out for a week and then get rates for another lender, you may not be getting apples to apples, and therefore actually not even helping yourself get to the best solution for you. So consider your long-term plans. There's got to be a net tangible benefit, as I said, but does it benefit you, or does it really just seem to benefit the lender? Make sure they go over the closing costs thoroughly. I've had a lot of people end up finding out they got to bring a bunch of money to closing that they weren't prepared for to save this money on the refinance, and that's discouraging once they get into the process. But if you do plan on selling in the next few years, does it even make sense to refinance, or should you just stay in the loan and keep it where it is right now? Hopefully this is a helpful guide for you when you're thinking about doing an FHA Streamline refinance. If you have more questions, drop them in the comments. If you like this type of information, make sure to subscribe for transparent information about building wealth through your real estate. Talk to you soon.